The second winter snowstorm, major storm to hit the Midwest in a week, is messing up travel into and out of Detroit's Metropolitan Airport. It closed late last night because of icy runways. Crews are working to get them reopened now. 51 passengers had to deboard a plane in Indiana after it slid into a snowbank at Fort Wayne International Airport. From Super Smash Bros. Ultimate to Red Dead Redemption 2.
I hope you ain't looking for gold, partner.
Americans spent a small fortune on video games last year. New data shows the game industry rang up a record-breaking $43 billion in sales in 2018. That's a growth spurt of 18%. S&P futures up 12%. This is CBS News.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified candidates for businesses of all sizes. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm Tiffany Haddish, and I use Groupon so much, they made me the spokesperson. A lot of guys ask me if it's cool to use Groupon for Valentine's Day. So here's the deal. If I catch my Valentine using a Groupon for something like a couple's massage, fondue, or an escape room, he better get used to me because I'm going to be around a while. Trust me, the ultimate aphrodisiac is a man that knows the value of $1. Men, if you're out there, download the app and save. Groupon.
Indeed knows it's hard to find qualified candidates when you're hiring.
It's like finding a unicorn.
But when you post your job on Indeed, it's easy to find people with the skills you need.
Nurse practitioner, 4+ years experience, acute care certification.
Indeed has a huge pool of amazing candidates and screener tools that help you find your most qualified applicants.
Whoa, an entire short list of unicorns.
Now, get a $50 credit to give your first job posting premium placement at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, quality standards, and usage limits apply. Additional terms online.
There's a new drive to raise Florida's minimum wage to $15 an hour through an amendment to the state constitution.
Approve the initiative. Attorney John Morgan says the increase would be gradual from Florida's current $8.46 an hour.
It's $10 year one, and then 11, and then 12, and then 13, and 14, and 15.
That first bump up wouldn't come until September 2021. Hitting the $15 an hour ceiling in 2026. But groups like the Florida Chamber of Commerce and the Florida Retail Federation say they oppose the measure. They say it would hurt small businesses and cost thousands of jobs. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
You may be able to find out about your chances of one type of cancer through an at-home DNA test soon. 23andMe has gotten approval from the FDA to tell customers whether they have 2 genetic variants associated with an increased risk of a hereditary form of colorectal cancer. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
City Council is asking for an independent investigation of the Frederico Wolf beatdown. At the City Council meeting, Russell Gilbert called for that investigation. Councilwoman Demetrius Coonrod said that by not immediately firing Officer Benjamin Piazza, they're effectively condoning his behavior. Officer Piazza was shown in a dash cam video punching and cursing at Wolf during a traffic stop. Over in Saudi Daisy, 2 people arrested after a car chase with the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office. It all started when a vehicle refused to stop. Hamilton County Sheriff's Office spokesman Matt Lee says they followed the car until it ran off the road and 2 people jumped out. They were quickly taken into custody. The TBI announced it's looking for a 3rd suspect in the Jacob Moore slaying. Moore's skeletal remains were discovered by hunters in the woods on Benton Mountain. 2 suspects are already in custody. Blake Ketchum with the TBI announced they're looking for Willie Boyd on charges of first-degree murder. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
I went whitewater rafting a few years back, and man, it was fun. This is Bruce Dodd with People's Home Equity, a mortgage company right here in Chattanooga. The water was up that day, and the rapids were pretty challenging. Our guide had traveled the river hundreds of times before and knew exactly where to go and how to approach each rapid. I learned that it's important to know when to paddle, when to coast, and that communication is vital. The mortgage world has become a lot like a whitewater trip. We do mortgages all day, every day. Your mortgage is our priority. If you're looking to move this year, then get the pre-qualification process started with professionals who can help you navigate the mortgage industry. We know when to paddle and when to coast. If you're ready to move, call us at People's Home Equity, 423-591-9805. 9801.
People's Home Equity is still closing loans in less than 30 days. Call them now to get pre-qualified. 423-591-9801. 423-591-9801.
Call for more details. Terms and conditions may apply. This is not a commitment to lend. NMLS number 66247. Tennessee number 117278136. Georgia number 16020. Georgia residential mortgage licensee. Equal housing lender.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by our mystery sponsor, a product that is so good that they're paying us to keep anyone from associating it with this program.
Cougar Radio 92.7.
Well, the first thing I want to say is mandate my ass. Because it seems as though we've been convinced that 26% of the registered voters, not even 26% of the American people, but 26% of the registered voters form a mandate or a landslide. 21% voted for Skippy and 3-4% voted for somebody else who might have been running. But oh yeah, I remember in this year that we have now declared the year from Shogun to Raygun. I remember what I said about Raygun. Minute. Acted like an actor. Hollywood. Acted like a liberal. Acted like General Franco when he acted like governor of California. Then he acted like a Republican. Then he acted like somebody was going to vote for him for president. And now we act like 26% of the registered voters is actually a mandate. We're all actors.
We were all kind of thinking the same thing.
What has happened is that in the last 20 years, America has changed from a producer to a consumer. And all consumers know that when the producer names a tune, the consumer has got to dance.
He's been literally canonized since
we used to be a producer. Very inflexible like that, and now we are consumers.
The power of an eye.
Finding it difficult to understand.
Jimmy Carter was a good man.
Natural resources and minerals will change your world.
The way the world worked.
Arabs used to be in the third world.
Being, in the state of Georgia,
the second world and put a burn
but I mean, we also know it led to the Malays days. And people just didn't have any faith. And Reagan came in like a superhero and was perceived that way.
They don't know if they want to be Matt Dillon or Bob Dylan. They don't know if they want to be diplomats.
I can tell you this right now, and I hope we back off this for nothing. Ronald Reagan would not be able to make it in today's Republican Party. With the neocons in charge, he would not pass muster, no matter how much they
nostalgia.
Genuflect.
They want to go back as far as they can.
Gil Scott Heron.
As far as last
I don't think I've actually said it is
not to face now or
funky ass
tomorrow,
hump day
when it
comes
backwards.
to the bunker music. Being
yesterday was the day of our cinema
going
heroes
with mostly the New Orleans
the
stuff. I introduced Marie to Gil Scott Heron. I don't know if she'd ever even heard of him before.
Or the man who always came to save America at the last moment. Someone always came to save
Welcome
America.
to the show. Free radio. Freedom of thought, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Caller on the line. Good morning to you. What's up?
Found itself having a hard time facing.
Good morning.
Hi.
Two things. It was Kent Herbeck that picked up the Braves for the Minnesota Twins.
Thank you. Thank you. I just remember people, holding up signs the next night. Vanna, can I get a vowel? I mean, how did that one get by anybody? He just literally picked him up, and he was out. I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
It's part of the game, like they say, right?
Wow. Yeah. Roboski. And let me think. That was the pitcher for the Braves. That was the Mad Hungarian, right?
Right. With the beard and everything.
Yeah, the one that would stare out at the outfield for moments at a time and try to psych people out, and it didn't work. He just wasn't that good a pitcher. And
hey, Jeff, the second thing is I suggest y'all watch that whole video on the young students.
Yeah.
They didn't provoke anybody. It was a Native American that went toward them and started beating the drum in the kid's face. And really, he showed composure and respect. It wasn't the other way around.
I know that the extended story is very different. I mean, we get the snippets. But I think what the guy was trying to do, well, we had one protest going on, another protest going on. The two clashed, and the Native Americans were doing something that was sacred to them, this drum ceremony thing. And he literally just tried to put himself between the two parties and calm things down. If I was that kid, and I would advise anybody out there, just back away from somebody who's trying to be a peacemaker. Don't mess with them. And I think that looming there, I mean, it wasn't like he was having to stand in that spot. And that look on his face, I think we've all seen that look on somebody's face. It's pretty intimidating. That leader, you know.
If you watch the video, it shows him standing there, and there's another Native American to his left.
Yes.
And you can see him verbally saying BS, BS, BS.
Yeah.
And the kid turns around to the one of his other students and basically says, shh, and don't get back with him. Now, I don't understand, why didn't the Native American go over to the other group that was yelling all the cuss words and stuff?
The honest to goodness verbal assault.
The situation, go over there and confront them. Not the people that are just standing there waiting on the phone.
I don't know, man. I'm following you so far. I still think that his actions constituted something that I would deem to be threatening if I was trying to be the good guy. But there were other actual members of that group inside the Native American group who said they didn't think he did anything wrong. And he hadn't been charged with anything. He's just, put himself into, if you insert yourself into a situation, don't be surprised if you find yourself in the middle of a controversy. Trust me on that. And, your story is likely not to be told. So, at least he's getting his chance to do that. We'll see where it comes out in the court of public opinion.
Okay. Enjoy listening to you.
Man, I appreciate your call so much. More than you know. I guess we ought to address that, shouldn't we? We actually have weather coming in again, unbelievably. You did miss the tornadic storm that came through over the course of the weekend in January, and it was just, the winds were howling. We got snow up on the mountain, but the winds were just crazy. And we had tornadoes in Mississippi and Alabama and West Tennessee. And we have another squall line coming through later today. And it's going to bring a bunch of rain. And Lord knows we don't need it, but we're going to get it.
Yep. Speaking of the tornadic activity, there was actually a tornado in the National Weather Service that touched down 3 or 4 miles from our hotel before we got there in Slidell. So it was bad Saturday.
Slidell.
Mm-hmm.
Slidell's been punished by God many times.
Many times.
Metairie has too, right on Lake Pontchartrain. And I remember my best friend in Ohio, went to Germany with him. He was a German family one summer. And he was living in Metairie when a plane went down there and just plowed through this suburb. It was horrible. It was the exact opposite of Sully. It just couldn't do anything except go in. I can't remember how many people were killed, but boy, you couldn't imagine the swath. Mm-hmm. I was just showing you the pictures,
Mm-hmm.
Of the lower ninth that I got a chance to get a real personal tour. My wife and I did, from our Uber driver who just took a liking to us, of the lower ninth. And it sparkles today.
Yes.
In comparison to where it was. But to imagine how much water those homes were under. And my sons and I went down and did some mission work and tried to help repair this lady's house. And it just, you think you're on high ground, but you're not. You're not. You know what it is? The French Quarter. That's probably the highest point in that whole neck of the woods.
Yep. And we always make it a point when we go down to New Orleans just to drive through the lower ninth, just to see the progress that, they're making. And, compared to 3 years ago, there was houses still standing. They even still had the FEMA X's on them, which,
Oh, yeah. The blue tarps.
Yep.
Blue tarps. And just spooky. And by the way, they call it Front City. There's Front City and Back City. And Front City is the lower ninth, strangely enough, simply because of the way it's situated. But, you see, speaking of suburbs, and there's just these, huge, like they'd be out of a Spielberg movie, where all the houses kind of every third one looks the same, and they're all covered with blue tarps, and they're empty. They're ghost towns.
Yep.
It gets your attention.
It does. But a lot of that now has been just cleaned up. The city's actually finally down there redoing the roads, putting in new sidewalks, taking out houses that, were needed to be, they were condemned anyways. So,
well, so many people just said, yeah, why would we want to rebuild a slum? It's because that's where people lived. Before I go to the phone lines real quick, Fred the Show, thank you to Showtime Event Rentals for stepping up and actually sponsoring our all our things du jour. You can't say the video du jour today because that would be repetitive and redundant and repeating yourself and over and over. But videos of the day and the songs of the day and websites of the day and stuff like that. And Showtime Event Rentals, I believe the website is just, I think it's showtimechattanooga.com if I'm not mistaken. And the business number is 624-2040, 624-2040. And essentially they help you plan your party, however big, however small. And they've got all the gear for it. And thank you again, of course, to People's Home Equity for sponsoring for the show every single day. We'll talk more about them in just a little bit. Plus, I have a little plug for an upcoming concert. And I know you have something that you would like to probably say. And I'm trying to figure out if I should say anything. One of our coworkers needs thoughts and prayers today. That's all I can say on that right now until somebody gives me the green light. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning, Jeff.
Hi.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to have to call you back. I've got a really, really bad connection. I can barely hear you.
Well, you can just
I'll call you back.
Okay, all right. I know that we have a phasing problem with the phone line, and sometimes you hear it. Like I said yesterday, it sounded like people were calling from Alpha Centauri.
Yeah, I heard somebody going to work the other day. So.
Yeah, so I mean, and then there's a little bit of a delay, almost like a satellite radio. And I think this is Mike from Showtime Event Rentals, and Mike, just speak, and I will listen because we can hear you.
Oh, are you there, Jeff?
Yes, we're here. You can't depend on the delay. I just say you just go ahead, and this is the gentleman that runs Showtime Event Rentals. So talk to me, and I'll listen.
I'll do it. We're just happy to be mentioned on your station. And we consider it an honor, and just ask everybody, if you ever need anything for parties or weddings or fundraisers or whatever, we have supplied equipment to Riverbend every year that it goes on. And I have probably married more women than the Pope.
I'm not sure the Pope does that very often, but I hope you can hear me just enough to say this. This is something that we're still going to work out. But I really think, first of all, these shirts rock. And I think we're going to do a contest where somebody can actually, planning in advance, of course, for later down in the year, maybe get a little package. But we have to have your epic party stories. Epic party stories. Yep. And we'll figure out where we can do it and how we can do it where we won't violate FCC regulations and get ourselves in trouble. And I know you could actually probably give us a year's worth, and I could too. But I mean, we want to hear other people's as well.
Amen. Share the party stories. They're always fun to hear and kind of fun to relive the excitement of some fun that somebody else had.
Oh, I was going to say, or non-fun that somebody else has. And do I have the number right? 624-2040?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate it. And
all right. Thank you, Jeff.
I guarantee you, I talk about my New Orleans stories. I guarantee he's got something he couldn't tell. There's a whole bunch out there that cannot be told on the air. Phone line's fired up today, and we appreciate you guys listening and calling 800-8949 for this show. Free radio every day. Hello.
Hello.
You.
Hey, is this me?
It is. As far as I can tell, it's you.
You all know?
I'm pretty sure it's me.
I just wanted to comment on the shots you were talking about. I think it's called a reel, which it does look that way, I'll admit. You know as well as I do that you can take 1 second of video and split it into 30 separate frames. Sure. So you can, and I've seen both sides do this. You can look at, what's her name? Cortez. I mean, there's this shot I saw on a website. She looks, by God, crazy. And you could do the same thing with the Catholic kid. Made him look like he was leering just because you're choosing that one sliver of a frame. So
yeah, it's actually.
I hope people realize that you can't always, really take what you see completely at heart.
That is true enough, and I will give you that. And I will thank you very much for calling and bringing it up. And actually, yeah, the standard for film is 30 frames per second, and video pretty much copied that. And the thing is that it's amazing. The people used to debate about subliminal imagery, subliminal advertising, and things of this nature. I can tell you, after doing a lot of research on it back in college myself, being a marketing and psychology minor, I think your brain has enough going on with the stuff that's really happening around it. I mean, just because you see something doesn't mean you're going to act on it. Just because they put an image in a film of popcorn and going to make you go buy popcorn. But yeah, I mean, it's your eye certainly sees it and it recognizes it. And yeah, at the course of 1 second, I edit a lot of video. There's a lot of different things that can happen to a human face. And usually folks will pick the one that serves their purposes best. So mug shots and things of this nature. Again, trust me on this.
I'm the dude, that or his dudeness, duder, or El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Nuga Radio 92.7. 3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news. Now.
The TBI has announced it's looking for a third suspect in the Jacob Moore slaying. Moore's skeletal remains discovered by hunters in the woods of Benton Mountain, very close to property owned by a relative of a suspect in the case. The TBI has confirmed they're searching for Willie Boyd on charges of first-degree murder, especially aggravated kidnapping and other counts. And Dade County commissioners will vote Thursday to decide the fate of County Executive Ted Rumley and the Water Sewer Authority. This comes after a controversial land purchase for a possible future reservoir. Rumley serves as the chair of the Water and Sewer Authority, which some see as a possible opportunity for corruption. And we're learning the U.S. Navy concert band will perform at the Saudi Daisy High School next month. According to the Times Free Press, the performance is at 7 p.m. February 22nd. The event free and open to the public, but tickets are required. Val St. John for Nuga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News Now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Oh, it can happen to anyone. Flat tire, overheated engine, or just a clackety-clacking. Now you're on the side of the road. No worries, because Doug Yates Towing and Recovery is there 24 hours a day for you. That's right, 24-hour-a-day emergency roadside assistance. And you don't have to accept who your insurance company or your road assistance provider sends you. At Doug Yates Towing and Recovery, we want you off the road as safely and soon as possible. So they'll be there in a jiffy. Doug Yates Towing and Recovery with 24-hour emergency roadside service. Call 800-407-2371. That's 800-407-2371. Online, yateswrecker.com. That's yateswrecker.com. On Facebook at Doug Yates Towing and Recovery, LLC. Doug Yates Towing and Recovery. We don't want your arms and legs, just your toes. Doug Yates Towing and Recovery is a Nuga Radio 92.7 First Responder Friday sponsor. To our first responders, Doug Yates Towing and Recovery says thank you.
As a small business owner, you know that running a business is no easy task. You're in the office and on your third cup of coffee before most even roll out of bed. That's why you need office equipment and solutions that help keep your business running smoothly. The experts at RJ Young provide office technology that ensures your business's network stays efficient and secure, so you can focus on what truly matters, growing your business. To discover how RJ Young can help your small business grow, visit rjyoung.com/smallbusiness.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
The first responders. These are the men and women who put themselves in harm's way for us. And here at Nuga Radio, we want to do our part to say thank you. On Nuga Radio, every Friday is First Responder Friday. This Friday, we salute Chief Charles Dude Harris of the Highway 58 Fire Department for going above and beyond in the line of duty. If you see Chief Harris, tell him thank you. We'll honor a first responder with a thank you gift from Nuga Radio's community partners. If there's a first responder you'd like us to honor, go to NugaRadio.com and submit your nomination. First Responder Friday, sponsored by Doug Yates Towing and Recovery, Mad Philly, New York Pizza Department, and Nuga Radio.
Honest Ed's Used Cars, where every car we sell is backed by an ironclad guarantee that is so complete and comprehensive that we really don't see any need to put it in writing. And remember Honest Ed's motto, if any used car dealer anywhere in the country says he can sell you the same car cheaper than we will, then he's even a bigger liar than I am.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Hold my hand, ooh
baby, it's a long way down to the bottom of the river. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. If you get
Fred the Show.
or if you
This is a
get
band called Delta Ray. This is a very short
and check
video.
the cupboard for your daddy's
But
gun.
speaking of epic, it is
The
a
Lord's gonna
remarkably,
come for your
staggeringly,
first
stunningly, powerful piece of video. It's actually just over 2 minutes long.
to the river where the
This
water
is a band from New Orleans, and they are deeply steeped in the whole voodoo imagery thing. And it begins in one place and ends in another. And I think you will be a fan. Yes, and their other one, literally the one from last year, their last album is called Dancing in the Graveyard. That sounds more, but brings actually sweet to the core, which draw tears from the eyes. I think there's 20 people in this band, and they use a lot of percussive sounds, beat on their chest when they use but also some good-looking folks in the band. So that's the video of the day. One of those things sponsored by Showtime Available, which I was just mentioning, and I have my pimp in here, Jen the Pimp. You're not feeling as abused?
Not so abused today. And I want to agree with you. This video kills it. My kids, when I first saw this, I watched this 4 or 5 times in a row.
You have to.
It was that good.
You're kind of just stunned, and you're like going, "Did that really just what I saw?"
She's beautiful.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
Great voice too.
Yeah, they all are. Yeah, watch another one. I think you'll find it to be very, very, very sweet. So anyway,
Yes.
New Orleans music and funky ass Hump Day. We're sticking with kind of a New Orleans vibe there. Yeah, she's killed everybody at this point.
She's awesome. And, So, all right, back to the sponsorships.
Yes,
Thank you to Mike and Amber and Jesse over at Showtime Event Rentals. They're wonderful people.
They are.
I loved meeting them.
They're good folks, and I've known them for a long time. And I told a story then. This was the other apropos of nothing, completely off the rails thing I was going to say, but I ran out of time in the last hour. I was mentioning the blue dog, the iconic blue dog, which popped up several years ago, and suddenly it was on everything. And it's like day glow colors of just this dog's face, and it's blue, and it's looking shocked and stunned. That's a blue healer, and the artist is from New Orleans. She actually has an entire store with merchandise, made up of this stuff. And I have a blue healer. And that look is the look they have. Mm-hmm. That's the only look they've got.
Who is the artist?
I don't know. It's almost Keith Haring-like.
It's like that, but it's not. It's folk art.
Or Banksy. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, they didn't do any variations. It's just the face.
And it's a lot of them.
And I was when we were at Showtime Event Rentals yesterday, I just told the story. I don't even know why I told it. I've been having some trouble, some physical things going on with me. I've not been sleeping well lately. And the other night, it just was so cold. We did something we rarely do. And there was no kids in the house. We left our bedroom door open because normally we don't want to hear the sounds that the kids are making that turn, the air toxic and things of this nature. But we left it open. And so both dogs climb up on the bed, right? One's Loki, the blue healer, the male. And the other one is Ari, that's her name, and she's a Catahoula. She's actually a Cajun breed. They made them to chase bears, and they're beasts, especially the Catahoula. And they literally rolled up on me until I was like a sarcophagus. I was in swaddling clothes, and I'm laying there, go, oh my God, I gotta get up here, and I can't breathe. And they were just the sack of flour here, a sack of salt here, but just wouldn't move. And then all of a sudden, there was a little bit of relief, and I opened my eyes. We have this big oval window, and it had that super moon behind it. And there, the Catahoula is the silhouette of the Great Pumpkin. That's exactly what it was. Completely dead center in the window, and it actually just shocked me, and it sent an adrenaline rush through my body. I mean, because she gets this old bitchy nose up in the air like this, and she got these big ears, and I'm like going, oh my God, it's the Great Pumpkin, and she's like going, I will allow you to pet me now. That was the whole thing, and for some reason, I just thought it kind of fit into the New Orleans thing. You found it.
There it is, yeah.
What is her name?
George.
His name. Rodriguez?
Rodriguez, yeah.
And the French Quarter. And apparently he has expanded into other things. But it said there was one that was stolen worth $50,000.
Yeah, they've gone up.
Holy moly!
Yes. If you've got one, keep it.
Can we get you some watercolors? Maybe do something.
God.
You know, Howard Finster did some variation of that.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I stopped at the Magic Garden, Paradise Gardens there over the Christmas holiday, and that's a very interesting place to wander around in. But I'm telling you, that dog, and we're missing a great opportunity here, my wife and I. You could feed it a T-bone steak. You could take it walking. You could rub its belly. You could do whatever you wanted to, and then I could take a video of it, talking about how you can use video, and get Sally Struthers to go for only $49 a month. You could help this dog because it has the saddest look. And no matter how happy he is, he's just always. And I'm convinced that they're really. I'm not even sure it's a dog. I think it's half dog, part cat, ocelot, otter, monkey. They're so bizarre, and they just stare and stare and stare, and they're beaming intelligence up to their home planet. Is what they're doing. And
so I have a non sequitur question.
Sure.
When you said the two dogs were cocooning you,
yes,
is that kind of what it feels like when you're wrapped in those? What did you call it for hang gliding? The cocooning, the swaddling. Oh yeah,
no, because you've got some movement there, and you can move your arms and stuff. Literally, they just continue to roll inward. Mm-hmm. And the female dog is just much bigger than I ever thought she was going to get. She was a pound dog. We thought she was just a mutt. We didn't realize she was a breed. And she could rip your face off in 1 second. I mean, when she decides to kind of break bad and get feral, she's got canines all over her mouth. And I just told Rebecca one day, as a matter of fact, when she did that, I reached up and petted her just for a minute. And I knew when I stopped, it was going to piss her off, kind of like a cat. Mm-hmm. When hey, you're not through, and they'll reach out. And I just whipped the covers over my face. So when I'm doomed. I went with the Peanuts analogy the whole time. I'm doomed. He's going to rip my face off. All right. So Jen, anybody who wants to get in touch with you to be a sponsor of anything that we do here or everything that we do here.
Yes, please call or text. I'm a texter, 423-635-3557. That will get me directly, and it will get you to the phone that is permanently glued to my hand. If you're watching on Facebook, here it is.
And I don't want to leave everybody hanging. Linus, of course, when the Great Pumpkin doesn't yet arise, and he says, "If, oh my gosh." I said, "If
no, we're doomed.
Your pumpkin patch has to be so sincere. I'm doomed." And that's exactly those are the words that just came out of my mouth. I mean, that's the way my brain works. We have a coworker that has had some loss, very substantial. I'm just going to say, I think the fact that she is coming in today to do her job shows a tremendous work ethic, and I won't say anything more than that. And just. I've had people in positions, situations where I've literally prayed that the Lord would take them home and take them out of pain. But you know what? You're never ready. You're never ready when it happens. So it'll all become clear at some point, I'm sure. And you have a friend who just lost their home and just wanted to give you a second to say something.
Yeah. And a good friend of mine lost his house Monday night. Space heater. That's what they believe it was. Tipped over or something.
Those things.
Lost everything they've got. They've got 3 girls, and they've lost everything in that house fire. Luckily, though, they do have insurance, so that's a good thing.
They're okay.
They're okay. Couple animals were lost too.
Oh gosh.
But they're okay. Nobody was hurt. They've just lost
everything.
So
what can we do? I want to help. What can we do to help?
I gave them $8 is what I had.
That's a good question.
It's a start. Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, we had somebody burned out of their home here last night.
I'll call him, Jen, my friend, and see exactly how they want to proceed with it.
Okay.
And then we'll just do an update on our Facebook page so that way everybody else can see.
Right.
So I'll try to call him here in a little bit, and we'll try to have that up around noon or so.
Well, the very first need is just going to be socks. Shoes, underwear. I mean, kids still got to go to school. Food, probably a shelter somewhere. But the further you get out into the rural areas, the less likely people are to seek government assistance.
Yeah, and they live over in Benton, or right outside of Benton. So, unfortunately,
that's a rural area.
Yep, it is a rural area. And, the fire departments just can't get there in time.
Right.
Especially the all-volunteer crews.
Well, some of the volunteer folks do a great job, but once it goes up, it goes up. Most of us have stuff in our house, too, that they don't understand just exactly how explosive or flammable it can be. And we store things, and because we're all pack rats to some degree.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
And it's just,
yes, we are.
It's shocking. It truly is. A car fire will absolutely blow your mind. I stopped on the old Jotty once, and this car fire had just begun. And by the time I got to it, just pulled over and got to it, I couldn't even approach it. I couldn't even reach for the knob. Luckily, while I was parking, the person rolled out and was okay. But I mean, it was just happens in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Fire terrifies me. It really does.
Me too.
I try to be very mindful of it. But anyway, thoughts and prayers to our coworker and to your friends and anybody out there who's lost anything for whatever reason. It's all part of life, I guess. I'm not going to start singing Elton John. I don't know. Maybe I will.
Go for it.
No, I shouldn't. I shouldn't do that. Now we'll open the phone lines back up. I don't know if we have somebody still on or not.
Maybe. Hello, caller.
I would say that's a no.
That's no.
800-89%. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. We almost wiped you out there. We got about 2 minutes. Talk.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had a quick comment on the whole Native American incident that happened in Washington recently.
Sure.
My main question about the whole situation was, why is not anybody saying anything about these Black Hebrew Israelites? Like, you can look them up on YouTube and watch their teachings. They believe that all mulattoes are the chosen seed of Israel, and that all white people are Edomites and the seed of Satan and are condemned to hell.
That's
and
the reason that group was
go out and yell obscenities at white people and tell them that they're condemned to hell and all these crazy things. And they're very big antagonists. And from what I've seen, they were actually antagonizing those young men and saying nasty things to them. And then that's when the Native American guy stepped in because he was trying to, chill things out.
And to answer your first question,
in the news, you see them talking about these white kids and how mean and hateful they were. But if that was the stance they were taking by not saying anything back when these antagonists are there screaming obscenities at them and telling them that they're going to hell and all these other things, I think that they handled themselves pretty well.
Well, I tell you what, caller, thank you for your call. And I will address that. As a matter of fact, I'll answer your question to some degree when we come back from this quick break and do our final segment for the show today, brought to you by People's Home Equity, chatmortgage.com, 2 T's, chatmortgage.com. You know what? I think I almost had it memorized now. NMLS 66720. If I'm wrong on that, don't worry about it. I'll get that later. Yeah, it's not in there because that takes planning, and planning is for dullards.
Which is what I experienced Monday.
Yes. So there you go. But no, actually, we had a person that came to address a crowd in Chattanooga many years ago, and I don't think anybody had a clue how vile and hateful and he was. And when we brought it to people's attention, well, we couldn't stop it, but it was rough, and these folks found that kind of way.
I'm the dude, that or his dudeness, Duder, or El Duderino, if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Nuga Radio 92.7. 3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
City Council is asking for an independent investigation of the Frederico Wolf beatdown. At the City Council meeting, Russell Gilbert called for that investigation. Councilwoman Demetrius Coonrod said that by not immediately firing Officer Benjamin Piazza, they're effectively condoning his behavior. Officer Piazza was shown in a dash cam video punching and cursing at Wolf during a traffic stop. Over in Saudi Daisy, 2 people arrested after a car chase with the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office. It all started when a vehicle refused to stop. Hamilton County Sheriff's Office spokesman Matt Lee says they followed the car until it ran off the road and 2 people jumped out. out, they were quickly taken into custody. The TBI announced it's looking for a third suspect in the Jacob Moore slaying. Moore's skeletal remains were discovered by hunters in the woods on Benton Mountain. 2 suspects are already in custody. Blake Ketchum with the TBI announced they're looking for Willie Boyd on charges of first-degree murder. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now. Where can you find exotic surroundings, fine dining, and a taste of Italy tucked away in Chattanooga? On Highway 58, you'll find Portobello's. They serve up food just like Mama used to make, but without the extra helping of guilt. Portobello's has fresh, homemade pasta and signature dishes sure to please, bringing you back for more. Just like Mama, the folks at Portobello's are always happy to see you and always happy to meet your friends. Call ahead for delicious takeout or just show up for their amazing Portobello's menu. Portobello'sChattanooga.com. Chattanooga's home for the finest Italian food.
Space, the final frontier.
Whether it's a man cave, she shed her office, L&K Buildings and Trailer Sales has your space. The perfect portable building just for you. L&K Buildings and Trailer Sales is a premier building authorized dealer. You tired of paying high storage fees, lack of security, and not having easy access to your stuff? Then L&K has the building just for you. Or if you're looking for a mini home or the perfect hunting cabin, L&K has the building that will convert perfectly. Free delivery up to 50 miles. No credit checks and low monthly payments. Call L&K today at 706-858-0077. 706-858-0077. On Facebook, search L&K Buildings and Trailer Sales. 3532 Lakeview Drive, Rossville, Georgia. L&K's featured storage unit this month is a center cabin 12x32, featuring 15% off. L&K Buildings and Trailer Sales. Call 706-858-0077.
Overture, curtain lights, this is it, we'll hit the heights, and oh, what heights we'll hit, on with the show, this is it, Nooga Radio.
Some people think they jive me, then I know they must be crazy. You don't see that in this
You know.
Let me get a swallow of water.
Walk through the fire, fly through the smoke. See my enemy at the end of their road. Walk on pins and needles, see what they can do. Walk on gilded splinters with the king of the Zulu. Sing about that. Come to make you come, come gilded splinters.
Dr. John, his first album, was Beard, and he is not in the 18th layer.
Did I word? Roll out my coffee, drink poison in my chair.
That's
pride begins to fade, and y'all feel my malice. But greedy on your doorstep.
Now, did you, in all honesty, before I go back and address the caller's comment, did you get any sort of weird vibe? Because some people do.
I never get a weird vibe.
Some people do. They pick up on what's the phrase that a minister's wife, when we were down there, my boys and down there were working on that lady's house. She said there is a spiritual depression over this city, and it's because of the Haitian voodoo influence that permeates in the whole Marie Laveau thing. And it doesn't bother me. I mean, the fact that there are street people who will stalk you, I mean, that kind of works. It is a murder capital. Let's just go ahead and just be honest. One of the trips I made down there, I had to send my friend home. We were just beginning a trip, and we took everything of any value and we put it in my camera bag, old fashioned, put it on your shoulder, 35mm camera bag, all our money and IDs and keys and contraband and anything that was any worth. And, in the beginning of the night, I was going, man, what you going to do if somebody tries to grab my bag? Oh, I don't be all over them and everything like that. And after we decided to do a shot in every bar on this one street, as we made our way down, a bad idea. He literally, the last one we took, it was a flaming drink, and the bartender sets it on fire, and my friend picks it up while it's burning, and he's trying to figure out what to do with it. The guy goes, blow it out, man. And he blows it out, and he goes, drink it. And I realized he's got to go home. But as I'm walking to a cab, he literally starts walking up to people all wobbly, going, "Man, I wish you'd mess with his camera bag, man. I wish I'm not going, get in the cab as fast as you can." And sure enough, about 2 o'clock in the morning, side street, there was a guy that shadowed me, and I turned 3 or 4 times, and he just stayed on the other side of the street. I'm just going, how fast could I actually move? I couldn't tell how athletic he was, but he was after one of 2 things, and neither one of which was I wanting to give up. I can tell you that. Now, we'll put this person on hold and call her. Hang tight. Let me just go and say, you're right about, first of all, the reason that nobody said anything about the original group that you mentioned is the fact that nobody knew about them. Nobody knows what that means. Literally. I mean, when the story began, what's up with that name? Who are these people? But what they are is a hate group to a large degree. And yeah, it was a counter protest that was going on with the kids out there. They were there and they decided to counter protest. And their school chant, unfortunately, ends with a gesture that looks very much like a Nazi salute. And we've seen this come out several times. And so, yeah, yes, you are correct. There were hateful people with a hateful mentality that were out there that were saying and doing worse things than the kid did. But then again, it's like, you know, the reason the Klan doesn't, rally in Pikeville anymore? Because the people just shut their stores down and went home. They didn't react to it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I kept telling people, when they were going to go a march on D.C., when, after the thing in Charlottesville happened and they wanted to do some counter, demonstration against the Klan from this area. And I was going, don't do that. It's cold. It's windy and rainy. They won't stay out there long if they're not getting any attention. Give them the attention and they'll stay out there all day. And you'll end up in a fight. And I think the media actually has done a pretty good job of kind of reeling it back in to a degree, this story.
Yes.
But I mean, when I saw it happen here in Chattanooga, it was a group that brought in, I cannot remember his name now, but he was with Nation of Islam. And one of my listeners found this recording of one of his sermons. He was supposedly a minister somewhere, and he was talking about killing babies, white South African babies. It was back still when apartheid was being barely begun the dismantling process. And he said, and after you kill them, dig them up and kill them again because they didn't die hard enough. And it was, I couldn't believe. And there were city council people that went down there and showed respect and honor to this guy who died shortly after. And that was a good call, God, on that one. The dude didn't, again, a waste of oxygen and human flesh. Good morning, caller. What's up?
Hey, is it me?
It is.
I believe the person that you're referring to that came here in town was Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Yes, you are correct.
And I believe he's the one that has that you can find it somewhere out there on the internet. Dig them up and kill them again because they didn't die hard enough.
Yeah.
Quote. But I also wanted to give you a personal message that I hope that you're at Riverfront Nights again this year with your dogs. Attached to your backpack, dragging it around while you were taking GoPro.
Thank you.
Because that was so much more entertaining than the actual band.
I've got a
Riverfront Nights should really just be you and your dogs. You walk away 20 feet, and then your dogs just
entertain everybody.
It was the best 90 minutes of my life.
Of course, I think that last year's. Thank you very much for the call. I'm serious. And last year's lineup for Riverfront Nights is a free concert series that takes place later in the summer, well after Riverbend. But the Friends of the Festival put it on, and last year's lineup was just superb. This year's going to be better. I didn't get down to much of it in the last 2 years because I broke my leg, and then I had the incident, I got shot and all that stuff. But yeah, the last time I went down, I was still limping a little bit. I think I still even had a boot on my leg, but I always have a backpack. My backpack stays with me all the time. I quit bringing it in here because it seems to unnerve people. Backpacks do that. I don't know why. I don't know why. So I left in the car. But yeah, it's heavy enough I'd tie my dogs. That were, got them on a leash. You can't just let your dogs run wild. The kids are all over the place, and then they're friendly. They're not going to do anything but lick you, but still, they freak people out. And I really thought that thing would anchor them down, and that was a foolish thought. They could actually, I would have my skateboard, and they would pull me from the pier all the way back up to the Hunter. I just go, let's go, boom, and just hang on to the leash. And I'd just be on the skateboard, and they'd pull me at about 20 miles an hour at a full lope. And, I remember going by people and going, oh, those poor dogs, oh, that mean old man, I'm like going, shut up, man. I hate that mentality. Those dogs were just having a ball. They loved it. I've got video of them. And you tell me that they're not happy while they're pulling me around. They're getting to run, with their dude. And, but sure enough, I came back once, maybe twice. And where's my backpack? Where's my dogs? They're 150 yards away. And so a couple of times people actually grabbed it and pulled it back because they saw what was happening, because I just leave just for a second. They're beasts, and they could rip your face off, but they're nice. They're sweet, and I love them to death, and I appreciate that call. It gives me a chance to plug Riverfront Nights. I think this year it will be the last 2 Saturdays in July, and then the 4 Saturdays the following August. It's 6 consecutive Saturdays. It's free, and we try to hit all the musical food groups for what it's worth. Funk and blues and R&B and rock and whatever else might be out there, bluegrass. A
little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's what it's designed for. That's what it was made for. We have, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you've got a trash can, make sure it's anchored. The National Weather Service has put us in a wind advisory until 7 o'clock tonight.
Already?
Yep.
So this thing's already getting to us by now?
Yep. That just came from the National Weather Service.
So it's going to come in, and they said again, it's going to be rain, but really it's the wind that you should be more aware of. And then there's going to be more rain after the cold front starts to move through and passes, because that's what happens with frontal passage. And so we're probably looking at some snow event of some kind tomorrow into Friday. And, I guess other than being a pitcher in baseball, you can still get into the Hall of Fame by only being correct 30% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much a meteorologist. I mean, the best of them. I'm not trying to be insulting. I could be, but I'm not going to be. I'm just saying, 30% of the time.
Yeah, just reading more of this. The winds from the south, 15 to 30 mile an hour with gusts up to 45.
Jeez.
So hang on to your garbage cans.
Well, that's a lot of wind. It really is. And there's been, obviously, the ground is so saturated. And we're gonna see again spot flooding, and massive flooding. But you never can tell. Water's funny the way it rises and falls, and you say, well, flood conditions here, and you might come around a corner where you've never seen standing water before, and boom, there it is.
Yep.
Because it has to find a place to go.
Well, I was just glad when I got back to notice that my mud hole in the yard was still there, so I was happy.
You had a mud hole in the yard that makes you happy?
Well, it's been there now for like a month and a half, so I don't know.
So things were stable. I get what you're saying. No, actually, I've got some video. I didn't know how to actually get it to you on my phone of me doing the thing I would tell people to do. I hate to use the stupid phrases and cliches that people always use. Turn around, don't drown. But I guess if it works, it works. But I watched this person go through it, and it was flowing from one side of the road to the other and into a culvert. And I could see this vehicle, and it was a much bigger vehicle than mine. I could see it come off the ground, and just nothing but momentum kept it going. I don't think I'm going to do this. I don't think I want to go in that culvert today.
So
they had a rescue just 2 days ago. They pulled somebody who'd been, underwater in his car in a ditch. Yeah. For quite some time. It'd go hypothermic in a second.
Yeah, I kept receiving alerts while I was down there, flooding here, flooding there. And I was like, oh, well, I'm glad it's down here. And yesterday it was 68 degrees. So,
Well, that's another thing. Speaking of cliches, overused stuff, every city in America says, we have the worst traffic. We're the buckle of the Bible Belt. And if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, it'll change. Around here, all those things are 100% true.
Right. Now, when we left, though, on the whole trip, guess where we experienced the most traffic at?
Atlanta.
Nope. Well, no, we didn't go.
When you came into town?
When we left here, this is the only place we had traffic was Chattanooga. From here all the way to New Orleans to the weekend, or through Bob's gone, nothing.
Growing. We got growing pains.
No, that's what it's called.
I'm actually going to get T-Dot in here. An engineering firm here in town has gotten the contract for the redo of the split, which is desperately needed. It just doesn't make any sense. I talked to a good friend of mine yesterday who was sitting in Nashville traffic, and the power slam move you have to make to go to Chattanooga is so incomprehensible and counterintuitive. It's very much the same thing on the split here. You got all the people from Miami, Atlanta, everything south of us. They got to move over into one lane to get on 24 and go to Nashville. So they're going to get that fixed. So we'll be talking to them.
But if they would read, you do get a little bit of notice as what lane you need to get in.
Yeah, generally. I don't. Okay. By the way, front page of the Times Free Press, video sparks council to call for action. Local activist Marie Mott called it crazy and insidious. And I love Marie. We're still working on that name.
I'm the dude, you know, that or his dudeness, Duder, or El Duderino, if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Are you looking to buy a home? You go online and search, or you ride through the areas you want to move to, looking for time stands still when you see it. You know, that home. But you spend all that time. You build up all that excitement to find out that you only qualify for... Maybe you have a few things on your credit that keeps you from things that you could take care of. You know what you should do? Call the mortgage professionals at People's Home Equity. They specialize in... They help home buyers go from... to... People's Home Equity is a great place to start the home buying process. 591-9801. You need more than less. People's Home Equity, 591-9801. Call for more details. Terms and conditions may apply. This is not a commitment to lend. NMLS number 66247. Tennessee number 117278136. Georgia number 16020. Georgia Residential Mortgage Licensee. Equal housing.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news. Now.
The TBI has announced it's looking for a third suspect in the Jacob Moore slaying. More skeletal remains discovered by hunters in the woods of Benton Mountain, very close to property owned by a relative of a suspect in the case. The TBI has confirmed they're searching for Willie Boyd on charges of first-degree murder, especially aggravated kidnapping and other counts. And Dade County commissioners will vote Thursday to decide the fate of County Executive Ted Rumley and the Water Sewer Authority. This comes after a controversial land purchase for a possible future reservoir. Rumley serves as the chair of the Water and Sewer Authority, which some see as a possible opportunity for corruption. And we're learning the U.S. Navy concert band will perform at the Saudi Daisy High School next month. According to the Times Free Press, the performance is at 7 p.m. February 22nd. The event free and open to the public, but tickets are required. Val St. John for Nuga Radio.